Hey friends, this country gnome Christmas wreath was part of a collaboration that I did with a fellow YouTubers, and I did some Christmas crafts and I called it Hanging with My Gnomies. And so what I did is I shared just a brief overview of how I created this wreath, and I promised you that I would do a separate video for my wreath loving friends to slow everything down, tell you where I got it from and what exactly I did. So let's go ahead and get started, and let me share how I created this cute wreath. Okay, I'm starting with a 14-inch wire frame, and this burlap 21-inch mesh is from Craft Outlet. I attach it at the top, and then I go across to the bottom. I like to add my mesh like this because when I put my signs on, I feel that it gives me something, in the middle for it to hold. And so I start in the inner ring, and I put 8-inch poofs around there. And then as I come around and I get to the top, I just untwist that one so that it's all, connected together. And then I'll just continue. And usually like where the wire or the bar is across, that's usually where I put my pipe cleaners. And so for this first layer, layer of the 21-inch mesh, I'm putting 12 pipe cleaners. Then when I get to the, connect to that end there, then I will drop down to the outer ring, and I put my pipe cleaner around 2 bars, and I will make my poos probably between 9 and 10 inches. So I will end up putting 12 pipe cleaners, and then when I get to the end, I just cut off with my scissors. Now for my next layer, I'm using 4 10-inch mesh. 3 of them came from Hobby Lobby. The red and the green window pane mesh came from Craft Outlet. And so then here I'm showing you the 2 sets that I'm going to put together, the black and the white, and the red and the green, and then I will put this red and white and the craft color together, and I'm going to make 6. I'm going to cut 6 of each of these to make 12 bundles total. And so I roll out these together. I just use my rotary cutter and cut them at 12 inches. And so I will cut 6 of this pattern. Then I'll move on to the black and white and the red and the green and cut 6 of those as well. And then I will make cruffles and put them into my wreath. So how I make my cruffles is just, rolling it 2 times, clipping it, turning it, around, go on the other side, clip it. Then I gather it in the middle, make like a ruffle or a cruffle, and then I cross them like in an X pattern, and then I clamp them with some clamps that I get from the Dollar Tree. Now I have 12 pipe cleaners on here, and so what I'm showing you is that I have one on the inner ring and one on the outer ring, and I get questions about this because people don't know, where do I put this? I put one on the top, one on the bottom. Then the next I'll do opposite. I'll put the other one on the top and the other one on the bottom. So I alternate back and forth in a zigzag pattern, just to, alternate them so that they're not side by side the same one. So once I get this mesh on, I will have 12 sets of the 2 deco mesh on there. And so then now what I'm sharing is, because the pipe cleaners are kind of, one on top of the other, I have what I consider holes, 6 holes in this deco mesh wreath that I'm going to cut 6 of these white snowball mesh and make cruffles with them as well. Then I will just take pipe cleaners and just go in between that deco mesh where I consider the hole would be. And sometimes it's, easier if you make it and then you see what the person is talking about rather than having to describe it. I hope that makes sense. But, when you're looking at the wreath and you put your deco mesh on, and, in this pattern, the way that I'm sharing, then, you can kind of see where the holes are. And then that's where I include this white deco mesh wreath. And I did it the same way. I made my cruffles. And so then I am just, going through the middle and just attaching it with a pipe cleaner. And then the white I like to use for my 6 extra ones that I put in the holes. I like to use a coordinating color that's opposite or that has a coordinating color to bring it out and make it pop. These are the ribbons that I'm using in this wreath. I like to use 3 different sets together so that I can alternate them in the coordinating colors. And I like to have a set that I use 3 2.5-inch ribbons, and the black and white came from Michael's. The red and white dot came from Hobby Lobby, and the gnome wreath, or the gnome ribbon rather, came from Walmart. And so what I like to do is I just help myself by streamlining and getting my ribbon bundles together, so that way when I'm ready to put them on my wreath, all I have to do is grab and go. And so one thing that really helps me is putting a teeny tiny staple in them to keep them together. And this stapler is in my Amazon shop. Yes, I have gotten questions. You can use a regular staple. It's just a little bit bigger. I like to use a small one because it's teeny tiny and I don't even know it's there. Anyway, so then this next set is the red sheer ribbon I got from Walmart, and that black and white buffalo check and the craft came from Hobby Lobby. This sparkly with the red, the 2.5 is from Sam's Club. I think I got that. And then that white with the red cute check on the edges is from Walmart. And so I'm just kind of showing you there how I insert my ribbon together. Now my 2.5 I cut at 13 inches, and my 1.5 ribbons I cut at 12 inches so that they would lay a little bit better. All right, I also made just some raffia bows that I'm going to be putting in one set of the ribbon, and it looks like I put that in the red ribbons. And so this is why I like to have my ribbon bundles ready to go, and I start somewhere and I just put in my ribbon bundles, and then I alternate up, down, up, down, up, down in a zigzag pattern until I get all the way around the wreath. That way I don't have two ribbons next to each other. And, everything is sporadic and, looks really cute and ties all in together. And how I usually pick my ribbons is depending on the season, and also a lot goes with my sign. And so since I was using this gnome sign, it has a black and white buffalo check. It also has the red present and the green ribbon. It also has some green, like his little boots or shoes has some green. And so that's kind of how I pick my ribbons and how I pick the coordinating colors. One thing I also do is once I put my ribbons in my pipe cleaners, I trim them off, and then I twist the pipe cleaner down and give a dot of hot glue to seal it, because I do feel that it gives a little bit extra protection for my wreath. So again, I based everything off of this cute gnome sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. Now, it's already cute, but what I like to do is kind of add some embellishment, some outline, some highlight, just to bring out a little bit more of its character. And how I do that is just take a fine Sharpie marker and just go around the edges. I'm not being very precise. I'm almost doing like an outline or a border. Now, when I get to the beard, since it's glitter, it can't be very solid, so I just kind of hit and miss there on that glitter. But the others, I just kind of go around and just kind of give it some enhancement just to bring it to life. And then I'll do the same thing with some white paint in my number 2 liner brush, just going around the edges and like the present, his shoes, his nose, just to kind of bring it out and give it more character. Since I am an old school country crafter, I love me some paint splatters, and I make sure that my table is covered because paint splattering, it does get messy. And I use a stiff brush as well as a small stick, and you could use a toothbrush if you would like as well. And I just splatter with black paint, and then I'll go back over it with white paint. And this cute gnome is country cute now. So to once it's dry, then to attach it to my wreath, I use these 1-inch cable ties. I have them linked in my Amazon store if that's something that you're interested in. I just use some E6000 and some hot glue just to attach the holders on the back. And so then what I do is I attach it to my frame, so that my sign is secure. All right, to bring the green out in this gnome, what I'm using is this pine, and this came from Hobby Lobby. I just cut off sprigs of that, and then I attach it in between the wreath. I attach my embellishments. I make sure that I get like in the flaps so that everything is nice and secure. I like to use Gorilla hot glue sticks and just make sure everything is secure by getting in between those deco mesh flaps. I'm also going to add some pip berries. Now, these particular pip berries you can get all year round in the garland section at Hobby Lobby. They come on a strand, and I just take off, I untwist them off of the strand, and then I use them individual picks in my wreaths and my other crafts. And I just love them so much. It just really makes my primitive country heart very happy to use berries.